if you're a big spender, you might be used to shelling out big bucks for those high quality Zeiss lenses, but hold on to your wallets, because I'm about to blow your mind. You see, while most people are out there paying an absolute arm and a leg for a Zeiss lens, well, I managed to snag one for the grand total of £1. That's right, one singular pound. I mean, come on, that's loose change. So how did I pull off such a miraculous feat, you ask? Well, my friends, it's all about the hunt. I scoured yard sales, I rummaged through car boots, I combed through charity stores, and I even dabbled in the high stakes world of auctions. And let me tell you, it was a roller coaster of emotions looking for a decent lens. But with all that effort, it paid off, and I scored a box at an auction for a mere £4. What did the box contain? Well, you may well wonder. Brace yourself, because it included a pair of Pentax binoculars, a small digital camera, a Canon lens, and the pièce de resistance, the Zeiss 135mm lens. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can you be sure that this isn't just some sort of knockoff or dud? Well, fear not, dear viewers, because, well, you see, the beauty was this was originally made for a Praktica camera back in the day. A quick £14 investment in an adapter online, and suddenly this bad boy is ready to be mounted onto my Fuji X-H2. Sure, it's manual focus, but who needs all that fancy autofocus mumbo jumbo stuff anyway? And was it a 1 in a million chance that I just happened upon a Zeiss lens for a song? Well, no, because look, take a look, even eBay today, when I looked, there were plenty of them there under 20 quid, and even one under £1. Now, are they any good? The £1 million question. Can you really take quality pictures with a £1 lens? Well, folks, there is only one way to find out. So, where shall I go with this monstrously great value lens? Well, funny you should ask. Vintage lens. There it is, look, in the back of the car. Okay, so here we've got this Praktica lens, this Zeiss lens, loaded onto a Fuji X-H2, and we're going to go and have a look at some vintage cars. I'm here with Paul, and look, he started photographing already. We haven't even got to the vintage car rally yet. What's he doing? Taking pictures already? Oh, hang on a minute. That's not a bad picture. I'll let him off, I think. Okay, so we're making our way up towards Enville Church. This is a great historic old church as well. It's actually reputed to be a Knights Templar church. It's so old and it's spectacular. So I'm here. The cars are just coming in here, and so we've got some lovely old cars, as you can see here, and there's so many that they're overspilling into that field over there, so we should get some really nice pictures with the Zeiss. I've switched the focus assist on in the Fuji. I'm obviously on manual focus, it's not an autofocus lens, so it gives me a nice little sort of, well, you can choose what colour. I've got it set on red. I find it easier to see, where it highlights the focused area, and that's going to help me, I think, get some pictures of these vintage cars. Vintage lens for some vintage cars. What could be better? He's at it again, look. We're not even inside the place, and he's found something to photograph. Paul, let's just get in there and get amongst these cars. Let's have a look at what you're taking anyway. Oh yes, the clarity from a modern lens. I'm not going to be able to compete with that with this old Zeiss, but I'm looking for a look that you just can't get with a modern lens. And oh, charming. So I'm liking this car here. I love the black. Look at how polished that is. Now that's going to make, you know, a nice picture with all that chrome. But I also thought we might get a picture of the owner, who is over here.
Hello.
No, who've we got? What's your name?
Paul Norton.
Okay, tell us, Paul, what are we looking at there?
It's a 1953 Triumph Mayflower. I've owned it for 40 years, nearly 39 years.
Wow.
And it's part of my life, that's it. I couldn't have life without it, to be honest.
So let's have a look how it's got on, this Zeiss lens from the 1970s. That's 50-year-old lens, and not bad, I'd say. I've zoomed in to the grill there because I'm so close, because it's a 135 lens and also a little picture, a portrait of the owner. I think it's done really well there. This is one of Paul's pictures on a modern lens, and I think you can see the critical difference, the contrast and the sharpness. But you know, there is something about that Zeiss that is beautifully retro. Well, it's really, really interesting. I've got Paul. Okay, Paul, how are you getting on?
Fine, great.
What sort of things have you've been photographing?
All the different cars.
Well, obviously the cars. Well, funny you should say that. You say obviously the cars, but you know, this lens is a 135. So on this camera, this is a 200mm lens.
That's true.
Which is a little bit too powerful for a small field with pictures of cars. I can't get back really far enough. So what I am doing is doing lots of portraits of car owners. So I've tended to do
stick to that.
A lot of portraits, you know, and close-up details. Because, what do you think?
Yeah, well, that's perfect for that lens. I'm using a polarizer, cutting out a lot of the flare up the trees with the sun.
Yeah,
and, I mean, going for effects as much as anything.
I mean, it is sunny. We've got this gloriously sunny day here. Let me tell you a couple of things that I've found using a modern camera. First of all, the viewfinders on these, I think you need a cup or something on there, because with glasses, I do find it, now that I've got to manually focus it, I find it hard. I find it really, really hard on a sunny day.
Yeah, there is that.
To get that focus. I'm having to put my eye here when the camera's up to my eye up here. There's too much light coming in, and I'm having to you know, so maybe I need to buy an eye cup there.
Yeah, look into that.
To actually get the get enough vision in there to see the auto the focus assist, rather, not the auto, the focus assist. So that's difficult, and obviously with a 200mm lens it is difficult to hit focus every time, and I'm sure that I've hit on some pictures and not others. If I'd got an autofocus lens on here, every single one would be bang on pin sharp. You know that the camera's going to help you in tricky conditions. So one thing you need to know is, you know, when you've got lots and lots of time to do a portrait, this lens isn't going to be a problem. Or if you're run and gunning, if you're taking pictures of people as they're moving around, slightly more difficult. Now, I'm just thinking, this Fuji gives me, this X-H2 gives me lots of different colour options. So I'm thinking, I was on standard, but I'm thinking I need to change that. Paul, what would you go for?
Try the classic negative. For the older cars.
Classic negative. Well, the last couple of pictures I've done on the chrome setting.
Yeah, so it's like equivalent to Kodachrome.
Well, it's the equivalent to Kodachrome, but the Fuji one. But do you know what? I think I'm going to take your advice. Yeah. So I'm going to now switch to
the classic one.
Classic neg.
Yeah. And
right.
See how it looks.
See how it looks.
For the old cars, it'll probably be perfect.
Yeah, I think so. Let's go and do some pictures in classic negative. Well, if anybody has seen Peaky Blinders, then look what we've got here. We've got the Shelbys. Look, Shelby. And this must be Thomas. No? Who?
I'm just a Peaky.
Oh, just a Peaky. Oh, right. He's just a Peaky. Wait, now listen. We're right by a little airfield, so apologies for the extra noise. Listen. We're going to do a picture by this, which is tell us what this is.
It's an Austin 10-4 Cambridge from 1937.
Okay, 1937. We're going to do a picture of them with this. Now, I'm going to struggle here, primarily because this, as I said, 135 is going to act like a 200mm. So I am going to have to get all the way over there by those flags to get a picture. But what about if I did it on an iPhone? If I did it on an iPhone, that'd give you a wide shot, something like this. But let's try the vintage lens. Let's see what the vintage lens can do. And well, that picture would look something like this. What do you think? But coming back, there's something that you know I can't not take a picture of in terms of a portrait, because look up there, you see the Peaky Blinders. Now I'm going to try and take a nice little portrait showing that, but I want a really hard light. But we've got a really sunny day, so I'm going to try and use the really harsh sunlight and a high ISO. I can never get that out with these teeth in, and see if we can get a really good portrait just using the sunlight. Let's go. Oh my word, take a look at that. Wow, that's a 50-year-old lens. The colour rendition is excellent. Let's really pixel pick. That's 400%. Look at the detail in that eye from a lens that cost £1. Incredible. I think that's astonishing performance. You know, maybe not as sharp as the modern lens, but wow. Right, we've got some great pictures, met some really nice people, and maybe it's time to see, go back and see what these pictures look like. I've met up with Paul again. Paul, have you enjoyed seeing some of these cars?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything taking your eye? Anything in particular that you?
And if I could take one home, it'd be the Cobra.
Oh right.
It's a hard top as well. With the
is that
coupe.
rare?
Yeah. That's worth a few shillings.
Yeah, how much?
Really rare Cobras. There's 427s. They can go for nearly $1 million now.
Can they?
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm gonna have to take a picture. Which one is it?
The black one.
The black one. Okay. Right. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of that. If it's a rare car, I know nothing about cars. And that's the picture from the Zeiss, the 135 Jena, and I couldn't get any closer than that, so that's as far away as I could get. Nice angle though, perhaps not one that you would normally pick. Let's have a look at Paul's picture, and that's a nice shot too, but it's such a shame that it's got bleached out sky. And look, I'm going to cheat, don't tell him, but I'm going to change the sky because it's such a nice car, £1 million car. It's got to have a nice picture. Well, what a great experience using a vintage lens on some vintage cars. Really good. I mean, it doesn't get more English than this, does it? We've got MGs and sprites, and it's just great to see in this classic old English church all these enthusiasts. Look, as you can see, really enjoying some British summer sun. There's not a lot of it all the time, so it's great to enjoy it when it's here. So we've seen the cars, we've seen the lens, but what did it perform like? Was the lens able to capture the beauty of some of these cars? Let's take a look.